Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatadeshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhutaiर्महद्भिर्यैमा पुरो विभो निर्माय शेते यदमुषु पूरुषा भूते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका सोऽलं कृष्ण भगवान् वचांसि मे श्रीकृष्ण शरणं शरणागतं कथामृतं सततपीबतम् भक्ति वेदांत मार्ग पंथनम सर्वलोक ऋषिदेव जन्न प्रसन्नम सर्वलोक ऋषिदेव जन्न प्रसन्नम. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Prabhujis. Very auspicious and happy New Year to all of you present here. And we wish and pray to devotees, to Guru Parampara, to their lordships, Sri Radha Krishna, Lord Nityananda Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that this coming year be an auspicious one in which we all prosper in devotional service and with more steam and with more rigor try to walk on this path, progressive path. And for that to happen, auspiciousness is required. And auspiciousness comes about when we sincerely pray. And it's very befitting that we have just entered into the auspicious prayers of Śukadeva Gosvāmī. These are the Mangalācaraṇa. Mangala means auspicious, and Acharan means taking shelter of. So when we take shelter of doing prayers of auspiciousness onto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then the Supreme Lord, he chalks our path very nicely so that we can ultimately go back to him. Our Guru Maharaj emphasized on these points that these prayers from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam are gems. And these gems should be decorated in the throats and through the tongue by speaking. And these gems should be engraved within the cores of our heart. Therefore, these prayers, it'd be nice if devotees can memorize it. So what I'll be doing is I'll be deviating from the daily convention, especially when these kinds of prayers come. And let's try to recite these prayers. There are, I think, 11 verses of these prayers of Śukadeva Gosvāmī, who is offering his heartfelt prayers to Supreme Lord Krishna and the devotees of Krishna. And he's seeking blessings so that he can perform his dharma, which is of speaking Bhagavatam very nicely. And he sets a benchmark of humility, of gravity, and of sincerity. Śukadeva Gosvāmī, even though only by body age of 16, he unanimously was agreed upon by all the sages assembled in the near the banks of the Ganges River, that yes, he would speak and answer the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. And everyone accepted Śukadeva Gosvāmī as a spiritual master in that sense. Even Vyasadeva, who is his father. So we have seen the glimpse of the pastimes of Śukadeva Gosvāmī in the first canto of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, of how he is regarded as even more advanced than his father because he is above the bodily conception of life. Once his father Vyasadeva was walking around the river, and there he saw that Śukadeva Gosvāmī was passing by, and there were young girls who were bathing in the river. And Śukadeva Gosvāmī, when he was passing by, he was naked. What is the use of wearing a dress when the body is already the dress for the soul? Such high was his realization. And the young damsels, the maidens, bathing in the river, did not care that this young boy, Śukadeva, is going by. And he just walked by. However, when Vyasadeva, the father, took the same path, the young girls, they became perturbed and they covered themselves. So the young girls were asked by Vyasadeva that, if you don't mind, I have this question. When my son Śukadeva went past here, he was naked and he is a young boy. But you girls did not cover yourselves and you just continued spotting in the river. But I am like your father's age, and I have come by here, and you have become disturbed by seeing me, and you are covering yourself. So the young girls replied that, "O sage, your son does not distinguish between male and female. He sees everyone as as spiritual beings. Amogha-dṛṣṭi, dṛṣṭi means vision, and amogha means pure, 100% pure, not a tinge of contamination in it." So Śukadeva's vision is Amogha-dṛṣṭi, and the young girls, just by looking at the eyes of Śukadeva Gosvāmī, could know whether these eyes are of lust or these eyes are of innocence. And Śukadeva Gosvāmī thus did not disturb the young girls by his presence. However, Vyasadeva, the young girl, said that you distinguish between male and females, and therefore our reaction naturally and spontaneously has been like this. So these prayers of Śukadeva Gosvāmī was very, very dear to our spiritual master, and he would constantly recite and encourage everyone to memorize these verses. So let's try to actually memorize these verses for next 1 week or so when we'll be doing these prayers. So we know, Prabhu, if you can have it on the screen, and we'll try to go verse by verse and try to recite. So let's start with the previous verse, text number 12. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye nashtaprayeshva bhatreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Śukadeva Namah Parasmai Purushaya Bhuyase Sadudbhavasthan Nirodha Leelaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam अन्तर्भवायानुपलक्ष्य वर्त्मनि भूयो नमः सद्वृजिनचिदे सताम् असम्भवायाखिल सत्त्वमूर्तये पुंसां पुनः पारमहंस्याश्रमे व्यवस्थितानां मनुमृग्यदाशुषे नमो नमस्ते ऋषभाय सात्वतां विदूरकाष्ठाय मुहुः निरस्तसाम्यातिशयेन राधसा स्वधामनि ब्रह्मणि रंस्यते नमः यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यत् श्रवणं यदर्पणम् लोकस्य सद्यो विधुनोति कल्मषम् तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादनात् सङ्गं विवस्यो भवतोऽन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लमास् तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः तपस्विनो दानपरायशस्विनो मनस्विनो मन्त्रविदा सुमङ्गलः क्षेमं न विन्दन्ति विनायदर्पणम् तस्मै सुभद्राश्रवसे नमो नमः किराटहूणाम्ध्रपुलिन्दपुल्कषाम् आभीरशुम्भायमना कसादयः यज्ञे च पापायतपाश्रयाश्रया शुध्यन्ति तस्मै प्रभविष्णवे नमः स एषात्मात्मवतामधीश्वरस्त्रयीमयो धर्ममयस्तपोमयः गतव्यलीकैरजशङ्करादिभिर्वितर्क्य लिङ्गो भगवान् प्रसीदताम् श्रियः पतिर्यज्ञपति प्रजापतिर्धियां पतिर्लोकपतिर्धरापतिः पतिर्गतिश्चान्धकवृष्णिसात्वतां प्रसीदतां मे भगवान् सतां पतिः यदङ्घ्र्यभिद्यानसमाधिधूतया धियानुपश्यन्ति हि तत्त्वमात्मनः वन्दन्ति चैतत् कवयो यथा रुचं समे मुकुन्दो भगवान् प्रसीदताम् प्रचोदितायेन पुरा सरस्वती वितवन्ताजस्य सतीं स्मृतिं हृदि स्वलक्षणा प्रादुर्भूत्किलास्यता समे ऋषीणां वृषभः प्रसीदताम् भूतैर्महद्भिर्यैमा पुरो विभू निर्मायशेते यदमुषु पूरुषः भुङ्क्ते गुणांशो दशशोदशात्मका सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् प्रसीदताम् सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे नमस्तस्मै भगवते वासुदेवाय वेदसे वपुर्ज्ञानम् अयं सौम्य यन्मुखाम्बुरुहासवम् हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare Hare. So let's try to, memorize these verses over the next, few weeks or so. So the today's verse that we are doing is text number 13. Very nice verse. Our Guru Maharaj spoke extensively on this verse. Bhuyo nama sat vrijinachide satam asambhavaya khila sattva murtaye pumsam punah paramahamsamashrame vyavasthitanam manumrigyadashuse. Synonyms. Bhuyaha, again. Namaha, my obeisances. Sat, of the devotees or the pious. Vrijana, distress. Chide, the liberator. Asatam, of the atheistic, the non-devotees, demons. Asambhavaya, cessation of further unhappiness. Akhila, complete sattva, goodness, murtaye, onto the personality of highest stage of spiritual perfection. Onto the personality. Pumsam, of the transcendentalist. Punaha, again, Paramahaṁsa, the highest stage of spiritual perfection. Ashrame, in the status. Vyavasthitanam, particularly situated. Anumritya, destination. Dashuse, one who delivers. Translation. By His loving divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. I again offer my respectful obeisances onto the form of complete existence and transcendence, who is liberator of the pious devotees from all distresses and the destroyer of the further advances in atheistic temperament of the non-devotee demons. For the transcendentalists who are situated in the topmost spiritual perfection, he grants their specific destinations. So it's a very wonderful verse. Bhuyaha means again. So we see that Śukadeva Gosvāmī does not cease from paying obeisances unto Kṛṣṇa. In the first verse, he has already paid obeisances unto Kṛṣṇa. He says, Namaha parasmai purushaya bhūyase. Namaha means I bow down. I pay my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But then here again, he says, Bhuya Namaha. That again, I bow down before the Lord. Kṛṣṇa in the 14th verse of 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita says, Satatam Kīrtayanto Mam Yatantascha Dhridavrata Namasyantascha Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasate. So two activities here are mentioned. One of chanting the Lord's name, Kīrtayanta, and the other, Namasyantascha Mam Bhakta. Namasyanta means bowing down. So these two activities are very, very important. One is chanting the names of the Lord. The other is bowing down. It's not that we just bow down once. No. Bhuyo Namaha. Bowing down again and again. Again and again. And in these verses, we see these 11, 12 verses that is being offered by Śukadeva Gosvāmī. He is bowing again and again. Again and again he says, Namo Namaste Rishabhaya Sattvatam. And in the following verses he says, Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. So Namo Namaha. Again and again he's bowing down. This act of bowing down is very, very important. Sometimes we may not feel like it, but still we should be bowing down to the Lord. Because by bowing down, we are submitting ourselves to His plans. Once Śrīla Prabhupāda, I think it was Kīrtana, Brahmananda Prabhu or Kīrtana, I can't remember actually. He wasn't bowing down when Prabhupada was singing the Prema Dhvani, Om Namo Vishnubhad Paramahaṁsa. Everyone was bowing down, but except from Brahmananda Prabhu. So Prabhupada said, bow down. And Brahmananda Prabhu replied, I don't feel like bowing down. And Prabhupada said, no, you bow down, and then you'll feel like bowing down. So similarly, we may not feel like chanting the names of the Lord. We may not feel like bowing down. We may not feel like doing the deity worship. But nonetheless, somehow or the other, as we do our daily activities of bathing, brushing, eating, similarly, if we do our nitya seva of chanting, paying obeisances, deity worship, and so forth, reading Bhāgavatam, then the more we do it, the more we'll feel like it. Especially when we don't feel like doing it, the more we should be doing it. And things will very quickly change. Why? Because Kṛṣṇa is not dead. He reciprocates. And in this ways, very nicely, the reciprocation of Kṛṣṇa is mentioned. Bhuyo namaha sadvrijina chide satam. So he is Vrijina. Vrijina means distress. Chide means liberation or liberator. So he is the liberator from the distresses the devotee is experiencing. Again and again, we see that how devotees in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, when they are going through distresses, they approach Kṛṣṇa. Prime example is Gajendra, the demigods. Whenever they are in distress, they approach Kṛṣṇa, and Kṛṣṇa is Vrijina Chide, liberator of the distress. And not only that, if the distress is caused by the atheistic demons, then asatam, asambhavaya. So Kṛṣṇa is asambhavaya, cessation of further unhappiness. So Kṛṣṇa stops the further advancement of distress from the non-devotees. The non-devotees who are giving distress to devotees, Kṛṣṇa stops that. And therefore, Pumsam, onto that personality of Godhead, Puraha, again, Punaha, Paramahaṁsya Ashrame, the great devotees of the Lord, who are known as Paramahaṁsya, meaning that they are like swans. They can extract nectar out of dirty place. Ashrame, they take shelter of Kṛṣṇa. And they, because they take shelter of Kṛṣṇa, therefore, Kṛṣṇa becomes the liberator of removing the miseries, one, and two, Kṛṣṇa further stops advancement of atheistic tendencies by non-devotee demons. So Prabhupada in the translation says, I again offer my respectful obeisances under the form of complete existence and transcendence. Akhila Sattvamurtaye, who is the liberator, Chide, of the pious devotees from the all distresses and destroyer of the further advances in atheistic temperament of the non-devotee demons. For the transcendentalists who are situated in the topmost spiritual perfection, he grants their specific destinations. Vyavasthitanam. So Paramahaṁsam Ashrame Vyavasthitanam, who are situated in the topmost transcendental spiritual perfection, Anumrigyada Shushe, he gives them destination, their respective destination. And for the devotees, Krishna gives the destination of his own abode. Let's read the purport. Thank you, Vinod Prabhu. Would anyone like to read?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Sri Krishna is the complete form of all existence, both material and spiritual. Akhil means complete, or that which is not khela, inferior. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, there are two kinds of nature, prakriti, namely the material nature and the spiritual nature, or the eternal and internal potencies of the Lord. The material nature is called apara, or inferior, and the spiritual nature is called superior, or transcendental. Therefore, the form of the Lord is not of the inferior material nature. He is complete transcendence, and he is murti, or having transcendental form. The less intelligent men who are unaware of his transcendental form describe him as impersonal Brahman. But Brahman is simply the rays of his transcendental body, Yasya Prabha. The devotees who are aware of his transcendental form render him service. Therefore, the Lord also reciprocates by his causeless mercy and thus delivers his devotees from all distresses. The pious men who follow the rulings of the Vedas are also dear to him, and therefore the pious men of this world are also protected by him. The impious and the non devotees are against the principle of the Vedas, and so such persons are always hampered from making advances in their nefarious activities. Some of them, who are specially favored by the Lord, are killed by him personally, as in the cases of Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, and Kamsa. And thus, such demons get salvation and are thereby checked from further progress in their demoniac activities. Just like a kind father, either in his favor upon the devotee or his punishment of the demons, he is ever kind to everyone because he is the complete existence of all individual existence.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll just stop here. Since it's public holiday in New Year, so we'll continue for a bit longer. So in this part of the purport, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains how Krishna is all good, all Mangala, because when he protects the devotees, he doesn't harm the demons. Whatever he does is for the benefit of everyone. So he even liberates the demons as well. So who is there a personality in the world who is unbiased as Krishna is? Because Krishna, simply by acting, even with the demons and interacting with the demons, he delivers them and awards them liberation. And he protects the devotees, and he further stops the advancement of atheistic tendencies of trouble from non-devotees. So Krishna is all good. Therefore, we should invite Krishna, especially at the start of anything that we do. And today is the start of a new year. So let's invite Krishna into our lives. For so long, we have remained away from Krishna. Even though we are trying to be devotees, we fall victim to the illusory energy of the Lord. Let's today pray to Krishna that yes, if there is any one demon, then that demon is actually myself within me. The demons within me are giving me trouble. I cannot take shelter of you. The demons are demanding me to indulge in sense gratification. Therefore, Krishna, on my own, I don't have power. But you please act. And through your pure devotees, you please act and make me into a devotee, protect me from the allurements of your strong material energy. And in this way, please protect me. And if by some chance or the other we feel that others are harming us or others are constantly distressing us, then even then we take shelter of Krishna through these prayers. I remember, 20, 25 years ago, I was quite troubled by certain persons, and they were constantly engaging to undermine the efforts that we were undertaking in preaching. And I spoke to my spiritual master about this, that I just feel that wherever I try to do the preaching activity, then there are certain persons who are devotees, but still, instead of encouraging, they are creating stumbling blocks. So my Guru Maharaj, referred this verse and asked me to take shelter of Krishna through this verse. And very nicely he sung on the phone, I remember. Bhuyo nama sadvrijina chide satam asambhavaya kila sattvamurtaye pumsam punaha paramahamsamashrame vyavasthitanam manumrikyadasuse. Srila Prabhupada's purports are so wonderful in these verses, and these prayers of Śukadeva Gosvāmī are so nice. So, on Saturday feast class, we'll go through these prayers. And on Sunday feast class also, we'll go through these prayers. So it will be a nice auspicious start to the new year. Yes, Mataji, please go ahead with the reading of the second paragraph.
Yes, Prabhu. The Paramahaṁsa stage of existence is the highest perfectional stage of spiritual values. According to Srimati Kunti Devi, the Lord is factually understood by the Paramahaṁsas only. As there is gradual realization of the transcendence from impersonal Brahman to localized Paramatma to the personality of Godhead, Purushottama. Lord Krishna, similarly, there is gradual promotion of one's situation in the spiritual life of sannyas. Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Parivrajakacharya, and Paramahamsa are gradual progressive stages in the renounced order of life, sannyasa. And Queen Kunti Devi, the mother of the Pandavas, has spoken about them in her prayers for Lord Krishna, Canto 1, Chapter 8. The Paramahamsas are generally found among both the impersonalists and the devotees. But according to the true Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, as clearly stated by Kunti Devi, pure Bhakti Yoga is understood by the Paramahamsas, and Kunti Devi has especially mentioned that the Lord descends, Paritrayana Sadhunam, especially to award Bhakti Yoga to the Paramahamsas. So ultimately, the Paramahamsas, in the true sense of the term, are unalloyed devotees of the Lord. Śrīla Jiva Gosvāmī has directly accepted that the highest destination is Bhakti Yoga, by which one accepts the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Those who accept the path of Bhakti Yoga are factual Paramahamsas.
Thank you, Mataji. So I remember in Sydney when His Holiness Janananda Maharaj had come, and there was one devotee there, a Western devotee. I think he was from Eastern European country, very young devotee in his late teens, and he was staying in the temple. He was trying out the lifestyle of devotee, and he heard that a spiritual master is coming, a sannyasi is coming, guru is coming. So he was very intrigued. He didn't know, how a sadhu looks like. So when Maharaj entered, he was there in his torn jeans, long braided hair. He didn't know anything. So he just folded his hand and he tilted his head forward a bit. And Jananand Maharaj, in his usual friendly gesture, put his arm around this devotee, and he asked him what his name was. And the devotee said, "My name is Hamsa." And Maharaj asked, "What is Hamsa?" So Maharaj then said, "From today, your name is Hamsa." So everyone started calling him Hamsa. And then that devotee's life changed by association with Maharaj. And he shaved off, he had shikha or neck beads, started doing the morning programs, chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, reading of scriptures, associating with devotee. And then when next year Maharaj came, again, as Maharaj entered the temple, this devotee was waiting for Maharaj in the foyer. But now this devotee had a complete different look. Instead of the braided long hair, torn jeans, he was wearing saffron dhoti, kurta, nice tilak, and completely shaved off with shikha. And Maharaj again put his hand around, arm around him. And as Maharaj was walking, he asked him, "What's your name?" And then Maharaj, of course, did not recognize him. And then this devotee said, "Maharaj, last time you called me Hamsa." So Maharaj then said, "Okay, so from today, you are Paramahaṁsa." So Paramahaṁsa is the highest stage of spiritual realization for a devotee. And what is the activity of the Paramahaṁsa? The activity of the Paramahaṁsa is that the Paramahaṁsa devotee is always in touch with Kṛṣṇa to pure devotional service and love. For a moment, he cannot deviate without being absorbed in Kṛṣṇa. He is constantly submerged in like a duckling swan in the spiritual waters of bliss, constantly drinking the nectar of Krishna's lotus feet. This is how Srila Prabhupada describes in one of the papers about the nature of Paramahaṁsa. And the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a Paramahaṁsa Grantha, is the literature for Paramahaṁsa. In Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, later on it is mentioned, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Purāṇa Mamalam. The Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a spotless Purāṇa Mamalam. Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam. And it is very, very dear to the Vaishnavas. Yasmin Paramahaṁsa Ekamamalam. And those Vaishnava devotees who have reached the topmost realization of Paramahaṁsa, where they're only drinking nectar, no matter where they are, like the swan extracts the milk from the dirty waters of the lake. Similarly, the devotee is only extracting the names of Lord Krishna, the memories of Lord Krishna, the essence of Krishna from everywhere and all the time. Yasmin Paramahaṁsa Mamalam Jnanam Param Giyate. So this Śrīmad Bhāgavatam is a Paramahaṁsa Grantha, the literature for the Paramahaṁsa, and it is giving the light of knowledge, true knowledge, transcendental knowledge. And in this way, if we follow this process of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Shinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro, we hear submissively. Patan means repeated recitation. So today, throughout the day, we will have opportunity to repeatedly memorize these verses from Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. So I would encourage, let's, like it's a New Year day. It's a day on which we can take resolutions. So let's start with taking a resolution of memorizing this set of verses in 1 month's time, and recite it throughout the year. This is how, somehow by mercy of our Guru Maharaj, he made us that every year you choose 1 or 2 sets of prayers, and every day you recite them and get deep into those prayers, deep into the purports of Srila Prabhupada. And in this way, then we will see that these verses, these shlokas, Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, will talk to us, will respond to us, will give us direction. These are not dead verses. These verses are Krishna himself. These verses are alive. And it will make us alive from our otherwise dead situation. The last paragraph of the purport.
Since the Lord is very kind to everyone, the impersonalists who accept bhakti as the means of merging in the existence of the Lord in his impersonal Brahma Jyoti are also awarded their desired destination. He has assured everyone in the Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, there are 2 classes of Paramahaṁsas, namely the Brahmanandis, impersonalists, and Premanandis, devotees, and both are awarded their desired destinations. Although the Premanandis are more fortunate than the Brahmanandis, but both the Brahmanandis and Premanandis are transcendentalists, and they have nothing to do with the inferior material nature full of the existential miseries of life. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. So I think, in the previous week's class, Hemang Chaitanya Prabhu was very nicely mentioning that, the karmanandis are there, the happiness they derive from the path of karma. But more than that is jnananandis, the happiness derived from the path of jnana. And below that there is Swarganandis, the heavenly residents. They can experience more pleasure than the people of earthly planets. And then so forth, the gradations going higher and higher are there. And then there is Brahmanandis. They are transcendentalists also. And Śukadeva Gosvāmī was a Brahmanandi previously, before getting in touch with Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. But Śrīmad Bhāgavatam had such a touchstone-like effect on Śukadeva Gosvāmī that from Brahmanandi, Śukadeva Gosvāmī became Premanandi. And he became an ardent, loving devotee of Kṛṣṇa and Srimati Radharani. And these prayers are actually the epitome of his realizations. And if we are able to meditate on these prayers, we can have access to his realizations. So with care and attention, let's take this resolution that yes, it's auspicious prayers, and let's make our lives auspicious by resolving to try to memorize these prayers. Memorization does not mean that we just by heart it. No, memorization here means that we ingrain the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam Arthanam, the meaning of these prayers, and constantly meditate on it and approach it in a submissive, sincere way, so that through these prayers we can always be in touch with Kṛṣṇa. And it is our great fortune that we're hearing Śukadeva Gosvāmī. It is our great fortune that Srila Prabhupada has translated this into English language. Otherwise, we would not have access to this. Any questions or comments, Prabhus and Matajis? When we were in Sydney, one devotee, he would print this booklet. So you can see it on the screen properly. Yes, so just 12 verses in a small booklet, thin booklet. And when we would do any particular prayers, he would print the prayers in the booklet form. And then all the devotees, would take the booklet with them and try to memorize the verses. And we have had many children who have memorized this set of verses, which are wonderful. Any comments or questions, Professor Matthias? Okay. Again, wishing you all a very auspicious New Year. Many devotees are going to the picnic today. So in the picnic, we can recite these verses, at least try to memorize one or two. And in that way, throughout the month, let's see how we go. And in this way, we can form a nice culture of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam around. And devotees reciting, singing, and relishing these verses and sharing their experiences of these verses. This is what devotee association is all about. Kathayantascha mam nityam. We don't have to understand everything, but nonetheless, if we simply sing and recite and try to be sober, try to be good, then Kṛṣṇa will give us the understanding. And Kṛṣṇa will bring us closer to him. Thank you so much, everyone. Grantaraj Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. Have a wonderful Kṛṣṇa conscious day, and may the best of devotional aspect be yet to come in this new year. Best wishes. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai.
Hare Kṛṣṇa. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna to everyone and Happy New Year.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you so much,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Such an auspicious start to the year. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Jayanti Mata. Thank you. Hare Krishna.